Well, hey guys, welcome back to the bench. This is episode number 3 of the Reimagined Battlestar Galactica Build-Up. Things have been going really well so far. I have had a few mishaps that I had to correct, and it was a molding problem with the parts. But overall, so far so good. Not a lot of issues to deal with. I've got a lot put together on the primary hull. This is the upper section of the ship, and I know according to the directions you're supposed to put both halves together and then attach everything, attach the engines and everything, but being that I'm wiring this, I have to change the order of operations a little bit to accommodate the wiring. So I'm building up the top half now, and I'll be building the bottom half, and then once I get all my wires ran and my feed wires through, I'll be assembling. For now on this, I've got the engines glued in. Went together with no problem, went in pretty good. A little bit of fill work on some of the leading edges here and a little bit on the inside, but not just a very little amount of glazing putty had to be put on and sanded away. As far as drilling the holes out from the engines through the body, really simple to do. Before you assemble the engines, you just put the engines on the body and then just drill the hole straight through. It lines up, it makes you a perfectly straight lined hole, no big deal. So did all that, got them together, glued them on, they're nice and tight. Really no filling work at all. These went on beautifully. The alcoves, on the other hand, was a little bit different. There was a lot of fill work on these. So I got these in. Unfortunately, there was a very massive gap all the way across on both sides of this. So I basically just took some spot putty, filled it in and sanded it away, and I think when that's all painted, you're never going to see it. So that's done. I can start running some feed wires through this now to accommodate for the flight pods as well as the battle head. But for now, I'm pretty much done with this. So I'm going to put this aside. I did have some issues with some of the molding as far as the alignment goes on the lower engines of this ship. And I did have to do some scratch building to fix it. So this is the lower engine of the ship. Went together fine. It's got two guide pins. You just put it together and clamp it shut. But the problem that I ran into was the ribs, which have been replaced with styrene, and the ribs up here didn't line up. They were offset. It was on both engines. I'll get there when I show you here. So it was on both engines, and it wasn't a slight offset, it was a major offset, and very noticeable. So after a couple of minutes trying to figure out how I'm going to do this, I just kind of bit the bullet, and I took a pair of my side nippers, and I just nipped off the ribs from this side, and I sanded it flush, cleaned it up, gave me a chance to seal the seam line too while I was at it. And then I just took some styrene. I didn't have any square styrene stock that was this size, so I took some round stock that was as close to match as possible, and I cut some pieces, just arbitrary length, nothing precise. I made it to where it actually hung over the top. Got them glued in place, let it dry, and I took some microfiles, and basically just to turn these from a round into kind of a square. It's hard to tell, but you can kind of see it there. I just went ahead like this on both sides and sanded it down until I made a profile, a flat-sided profile on both sides, and then I went in with a sanding stick and just went over the top of everything and just sanded it. So it flattened out the side, or flattened out the top and the sides, and it gave it kind of a square stock look, not so round. So a little bit of sculpting, and then I used the Timmy Extra Thin to clean everything up and seal everything. And I think when this is painted, you're really never going to notice it, to be honest. It fits well now. I'll actually go and put this piece on and show you what it looked like, and it definitely looks a lot better. Excuse me. It looks a lot better than what it did before I fixed that little issue. I mean, yeah, you could have left it. I could have left it the way it was, but I know it's there, and it was just irritating me having those off like that. So, and it didn't take me long to do this. It was a pretty quick process. The longest was just waiting for the glue to dry. So, give you an idea what it's gonna look like now. Sorry, the camera is not wanting to focus, but you can kind of see in there. So it gave me the ribs back. It definitely, they're all lined up and they look really good. So I think this is the best way to go. Now I don't know if this is my kit or if this was with every kit. I don't know. So just kind of be forewarned, if you were doing this build, you may have to cut this detail off and put your own in. If you do, try to find some round, some square stock that matches the dimensions of the ribs if possible. It'd make it much easier and less time consuming than having to sculpt it out of round stock. But that's all I had, and I didn't feel like going out to the store to get any, especially now with the weather turning really hot and just with everything going around with COVID. I just kind of like to stay home when I'm not working. So these are ready for paint. Being the fact that they are in this area of the ship and it's going to be really hard to get an airbrush into there, I'm going to pre-paint just the inside here, kind of like I did on the inside of the bottom, and then pre-paint that, and then I'll assemble it and then paint the rest of it. So that's the plan there. That's pretty much about it. Oh, I'm sorry, one more thing I did get the pylons put together and sealed. This was really simple. These go in as inserts perfectly fine, no issues. I did have to run a feed wire through the front to the back before assembling this, and I did that so when I put these on the flight pod, I can attach the wires and pull the wires through to the main body. And as far as sanding goes, I did have to fill. You can kind of see there, if I can get it to focus. Okay, my camera is definitely not wanting to focus. I do apologize for that. I also apologize for the sound of the air conditioner in the background. It's very hot today. Oh, there, you can see it. Okay, so you can see there I had to put putty around that insert piece and then sand it down, but it didn't take me any time at all to do that. That was the only fill work I had to do. And these are ready for paint. So that's kind of about it. I mean, I do have other stuff that I got worked on, but I'm not going to show you in this video. I want to make this just kind of a quick update. My next video will actually go into having the engines installed on the lower half of the hull, going over the clear engine insert for the back, as well as the battle head and a few little things that I do with that. But overall, it's come together quite nicely. It's looking good, and I'm really excited about getting this thing done. I think it's going to turn out pretty decent. Again, you know, Mobius, they have their downfalls, true. Their customer service has something less to be desired. So I've already had dealings with their customer service already concerning a model part that was missing from a kit. But I'm not going to go into that. That's a whole nother issue, and I don't want to blast them out right now on YouTube about it. But I will have to say, when it comes to their attention to detail, it is spot on. I mean, I will give them that. I mean, the detail in this ship is magnificent. This is just beautiful. So I will say that for them, their details, A1. I love it. And every Mobius kit I've ever worked with, their detail has been good, or really, really good. So as well as their construction, how the parts go together is also very, very good too. A few errors here and there, but it's to be expected. But yeah, like I said, that some of that's a whole nother story, which I'm not going to get into when it comes to the customer service issue I had with them. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with this kit. So I'm going to go ahead and stop rambling on here, and I'm going to get to work on getting these parts painted so I can get them installed. So I want to thank everybody for watching. If you have any questions or comments, just go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. And if you can, hit that like button for me. I really appreciate it. It helps my channel a lot. And until next time, be safe. Have a great weekend. Happy holidays for those of you celebrating Labor Day. And until then, take care. Bye.